3, 2.
Alright, so our next video here is real quick on how we're going to get these 45-degree notches on here. Now we could use protractors, compasses, and so forth to do those. However, I'm reading this print and I see that right here in this dimension, I know it's 1.5 inches between there, and I got this 45 degrees. So if I know that is a 90-degree angle here and that this is 1.5 inches, then I know to bisect that angle, it's just going to give me 3/4 of an inch in this particular area. So I can come across at 3/4 of an inch and use that to get my position of where I want that to be and use that in layout. Now that's what we call constructive geometry. I use that all the time. So I'm going to come back over here to take a look. So here I'm going to be at 3/4 of an inch and a 3/4 of an inch. That's going to give me exactly where I want that to be. Now we know here using this geometry on our part, so I'm going to scribe that in there. So, and you can see there how that goes, and I can come right back in here. Right now, I just scribed this line. So, you see that line right there? That's what I just scribed right up here. Now I'm going to scribe in and get this part right here. So, kind of come back in here, go between those 2 points, and there we go. I'll take that out. I'm going to come back to do this one a little bit later. I'm going to come over here and apply the same thing on this side. So let me go ahead. We'll mark that at 3/4 of an inch. So, okay. Scribe it out. And again, coming across full width over here. As we go, scribing that out. Now you can see those marks in there. For the other one, I probably would want to get some other tool to make sure I get that 45-degree notch out there. Although I really don't need to lay that out with the shear that we're going to be using. We can line that up at that and it's going to give us that corner. But it's usually nice, even though visually I know in my head that I can see where I'm going to remove material. Sometimes when you're just starting out, it's still good to go ahead and keep that in perspective and to keep those lines going there just to help you visualize that and have that. Now, as you take a look at this, so here's our layout. Come zoom in here a little closer so I can show you exactly what you can do, and you can see this. So as we match this layout from our print to what we have on our piece of sheet metal here, notice on our print all of this gets cut out. So I'm going to remove all of that. That's going to be cut out. So is all of this here. So I'm just kind of taking my scratch awl, just marking that out so I know. Over here, I'm going to be removing all of this material. That's all getting cut out. So as I go back over here, so we'll come back in here from this corner. So we're going to be removing all of that material there too. So this is all going to get cut out as well so that we remove it. I got to do the same thing now over on this edge on the other side. So I'm going to come back here. Put your scale on, 3/4 of an inch here in the center, gives me that point. So again, I'm lining this up with this, scribing that line. Come back over here. So I'm using the point made with this intersection point and this intersection point, and I'm scribing that line. So again, I know all of this here is going to come out. So if I come back over here with this, my lines are parallel. Know that that's going to be 90 degrees here. This is going to get removed and cut out. Over on this side, I need to find that center point between these two lines. So here we go at 3/4 of an inch. There's the point. So come back in here. So scribe my line. Make sure that you try to get as accurate as you can as you're doing this, lining up on these intersection points. So if you're a little off, then when you go to cut it, it's gonna mess up on you. So you really want your intersection points. You want to scratch these lines, and with your scratch awl, you want to try to make them as crisp as you can and as accurate as you can. So again, we'll remove that. My 45 or 90 degrees here. This is going to get cut out and removed as well. Now, if you think about it, we have to remove all this material because when we bend this, this is not going to have anywhere to go. So if we cut out these corners like that, when we go to bend it, it provides us with an area for the rest of that to go. But anyway, so that is how we do a shop layout. This is the tray layout plan for your little tool holder, your tool tray for a toolbox. All we really need is your plan. So we just read this blueprint, we transferred measurements over onto our piece of sheet metal. That's called a layout. We used our scratch awl and our metal scale. Now I do want to caution you, so don't be using these like this. Notice at some point somebody was destructive, bent this up. Hey, this is trash. Once somebody destroys a perfectly good rule like this and bends it, well, you're never going to be able to use that to get an accurate measurement again. You know, if I sit here and try, it's just not going to give me an accurate measurement. So do us a favor, keep all of our tools, be responsible, treat our tools correctly. They don't cost a lot of money, but they do cost, so be respectful and use things the way you would want to have them used if they belong to you. And you know, in the past, we got these plastic rulers, we got wooden rulers. The machinist in me, I just prefer, and the metal scale. Scales are typically a little bit more accurate, but if this is all you have is a plastic or a wooden ruler, sometimes if that's all you have, you can get some good measurements with that too. I just tend to be a stickler for the metal scales, considering the fact that I'm a machinist and some things just stay with me over time. So anyway, this was our tray layout plan. You're going to go and replicate this now so that you can make your tray and we can start bending it. Thanks for watching.